Welcome to live stream number 31, life's stream, life's dream, live stream number 31. One note, one arm, one Ken, and now Corky will be doing one boat. Whoops, where did he go? Aha. Yeah, I'm awake.
There's no shore. We're all in one boat. We sail. We sink. It don't matter. Anybody think there's no shore? We're all in one boat. We are the captains who can steer this boat towards sweet gentle waters to keep us afloat. With all our goodness together together and joyfully we'll pour our loving hearts out for this democracy, 'cause we're all in the same boat and there's no shore. Can't fool Mother Nature anymore. She told us to go to our rooms and wear our masks, 'cause we're all in one boat. there's no show. We're all in one boat.
Whew.
There you go.
Wow.
So, it's story time. I got so excited last time about story time. I'm even more excited
Woohoo!
this time. I'm more excited. My shoes are going in the air. Oh, I'm hiding. I'm showing up. Oh, what do I do? It's story time. Does everyone realize this is story time? Maybe you're beginning to catch on.
I'm living with a madman.
One note, one arm, one can.
And
come over to Story Couch.
one boat.
One vote. And one vote. Ah. Yeah, that was a slogan. We're working on the slogan. Holly and I, it's called Do Not Vote. Don't be a double negative. We're working on that one. So, should catch my breath. Have some water. It's good to drink water and get plenty of sleep.
And how y'all doing this morning? Do you have your coffee? Hello to the Goldsteins, to Sandy, Karen, all of our friends out there.
I've had my coffee. Could you tell?
Lynn Jordan. Hi,
Hey,
Lynn. We love you, Lynn.
Audacious Diva. And we got a project coming up, Lynn. I don't know if I told you. I'm going to surprise you. But we're doing this major project that you're a major part of. I hope you'll accept.
Goerres. Yeah, that'll be great.
Okay. So.
Hello, Clay Taylor.
Okay. Skip Haynes from Alkeseltzer Haynes Jeremiah, the late Skip Haynes. He called me one day and he said, "Hey, Cork, we're going to put the band back together. It's going to be Alkeseltzer Haynes Jeremiah band, but Alkeseltzer is not going to join the band this time. So it's going to be me and Jeremiah, and we're trying to figure out what to call the band so that we don't just go into oblivion, because everyone's used to the name Alkeseltzer Haynes Jeremiah." And so he said, we're thinking maybe calling it Lakeshore Drive, because Lakeshore Drive was one of their hit songs. So, or should we just call it Haynes and Jeremiah, or what should we do? And I said, you guys, there's an obvious name for your new band. Now it's just Jeremiah, and it's just Skip Haynes, right? It's Haynes and Jeremiah. Yes, that's what it, well, that's simple. Instead of calling it Alkeseltzer Haynes and Jeremiah, you can just call it a lot of Haynes and Jeremiah. I think that would work pretty good. So, So, Skip Haynes, and maybe the whole group, wrote a song about this fellow named Eddy Balchowsky, who Ken is going to refer to today. So I just wanted to give you a little description about him. Actually, well, let me read this. This came from Wikipedia. So Eddy Balchowsky was an American poet, artist, musician, concert pianist, composer, philosopher, who served as a volunteer fighting fascism and the Abraham Lincoln Brigade during the Spanish Civil War. Although he lost an arm in Spain, Balchowsky was able to become an important figure in the Chicago art scene, and many well-known singer-songwriters, including Skip Haynes, were inspired by the life of Eddy Balchowsky.
and wrote songs about him, like Jimmy Buffett, Loudon Wainwright, Utah Phillips, and Dion of Dion and the Belmonts. Now, of course, The Quiet Night was on Belmont.
No,
Yes,
no coincidence.
The caretaker of The Quiet Night, Eddy was the caretaker of The Quiet Night on Belmont, where he lived and eventually died. Let's just go over here for a second, show that picture again.
Give me a second.
He eventually died slipping off the Belmont L stop for the L train. So we have a few Belmonts in there. Not that I'm interested in synchronicities. And many of us like to imagine that this is Eddy. Anyway, back to the story couch. Back over here. Oh, she loves it. She loves that painting. Back to the story couch. So, oh wow. So now I'm going to introduce to you another one of my favorite personalities of all timelessness. He was the first person in Chicago, I believe, to have a full concert PA company, sound company, called Pan PA. He built the speaker cabinets himself because he realized how much the cabinets affected the sound.
We're talking about Ken Goerres.
Yeah, Ken Goerres, who is coming up any minute. So, and he's going to tell you a story. So, Kenny toured with Siegel-Schwall since the early 70s, and we have journeyed together since then. I appointed him to be sound designer for Chamber Blues tours, and he liberated a special system for us way before I ever hired the musicians, and that was smart. Because if you think about it, when you go to a concert, it could be an amazing concert on stage, but if the sound is bad, it's a bad concert. If the sound is great and the band on stage isn't so great, but the sound is beautiful, it's a beautiful concert. We take the sound with us when we go. So, we can practice our instruments and make sure we have really beautiful sound and everything. But then we're vulnerable to the acoustics of the room. Or if we're using sound equipment, we're vulnerable to the sound equipment. So the sound, whether it's just acoustics or electronics, it is more essential than anything. So that's why I hired Ken before I even got to hire the group. He's an intensely serious and sincere, but always on the verge of a laughing jig. I don't know anyone more devoted to honoring of and nurturing of a phenomenon called sound. He sees it, the way I imagine this is he sees it floating and fluting around in the air. He sees it tickling and caressing and embracing and erasing and nurturing. He's only interested in the equipment and the technology because it helps enhance the sonic experience. And when the equipment and technology actually gets in the way, which it often does, and we'll have stories and other streams about that, he will invent a way around it. Maybe a pillow, maybe a piece of duct tape, or a mind-bending techno-blasto invention with complexity of the unfathomable kind. To attest to this, the Rolling Stones used his cables. Warner Brothers used his speakers. Mastering geniuses go to him so he can squeeze even more sound out of their studios. And everywhere we went with Chamber Blues and Ken, the skeptical house technicians who never ran into anyone with the enthusiasm and care and focus on the details quite like Ken, would admit that this was the best sound they ever heard in the venue. This happened over and over again. He has also been the post-production genius behind the amazing audiophile sound quality of our recordings. and is working on the next 2 albums. And these next 2 albums, which I hope that our friend
Lynn.
Who?
Jordan.
Lynn Jordan, that's right, will be a guest artist on the album. Especially doing that Nina Simone piece, Do I Move You? Just amazing the way Lynn does it. Anyway, we're launching the crowdfunding for these 2 projects. I'm going to do Symphonic Blues, which has never been recorded, this new Symphonic Blues piece, and a whole new Chamber Blues, more different voices. And all you have to do is go to my website. If you go there, you're trapped. You can't get away from my crowdfunding page, so don't worry about it. So Ken will share his most mind-shifting perspectives and secrets in a forthcoming stream. But for this stream, I want you to meet his joyful recollections as he tells two of his favorite stories that arose from his travels with Siegel-Schwall. Meet Ken Goerres. Ready?
I just wanted to introduce you to
me. One of my favorite stories. We're in Milwaukee in a cow palace, and Siegel-Schwall is opening for Black Oak, Arkansas. And the promoter was Charlie. I don't even know Charlie's last name.
Charlie Fain, he was Steve Miller's manager.
And so the road crew from Black Oak, Arkansas. Oh, and Corky had started playing a grand piano by this time instead of the Hohner pianette. So it's a cow palace. The promoter had to rent a piano, a Steinway, and the road crew for Black Oak, Arkansas comes up to me and says, "Oh, it's too much bother to put the piano on stage, so we don't want to do that." So I go over and I tell Corky that they don't want to put the piano on the stage. So Corky goes over and tells Charlie that road crew for Black Oak, Arkansas doesn't want to put the piano on the stage. So Charlie, this is how I remember it, Charlie goes over to them and says, "You know that check I've got for you? I'm going to give it to you right after I see the piano on the stage." So they put the piano on the stage. And then they have this whole thing planned out. Corky goes over to the piano, plays an E. Schwall tunes his guitar, and then you play all harmonica songs.
That's good. Thanks a lot.
My other favorite story is an Eddy Balchowsky story. So Siegel-Schwall was on Wooden Nickel, which was a subsidiary of RCA. And in the contract, it stipulated that the band had no control over artwork. So when they did the album 953 West, which is the address of the Quiet Night, where they played every Tuesday for 4 years, the janitor at the Quiet Night was Eddy Balchowsky. And I'm going to say, in all my life, I've met a character or two. Eddy is on the top of the list. Eddy had one arm. Had been a concert pianist, came back, was a junkie. The Eddy Balchowsky stories could go on and on. So, but Eddy did a drawing of The Quiet Night. So Corky went and met with the art director at RCA and said, I know I don't have any right, but I'm going to ask, could this be the cover of the album? It's a drawing of the building that the album is named after. And the art director says, that's horrible. That's a horrible drawing. I could do better with my right arm tied behind my back. And he takes some block letters, 953 West, and says, it crops the picture indiscriminately. Says, it's horrible. So Corky takes it home and lays it out and writes 953 West or has Holly do it, I don't know which, in the style of the drawing, and brings it back and asks, could it be the album cover? And finally, they agree to it. Now, months go by before there was a record release party. My memory is 3 or 4 months. And the record release party, fittingly, is at The Quiet Night at 953 West. And Corky's talking to the art director. And they're talking for a bit, and then Corky sees Eddy. He goes, oh, there's a friend of mine, Eddy. Hey, Eddy, come over. There's somebody I'd like you to meet. Well, Eddy's style, Eddy, when you would meet him, he would stick out his stump.
We have known that when Eddy greeted people, he always greeted them, even new people, by putting his stump in their sternum, grabbing their back and going like that. That's how he greeted people. The second thing is that I didn't say, oh, there's Eddy. I went to the art director who was at the party, and I says, remember you said you could do better than this artist with one hand tied behind your back? I'd like you to meet him.
The point of the story is, Corky has no problem whatsoever waiting 3 or 4 months to deliver the punchline.
So anyway, that's Ken. We'll hear more from Ken. He's got some amazing stories that actually have to do with sound and doing live sound on stage and recording sound, some perspectives that you may have never heard before, just beautiful things. But before I do my last song, and I'm recycling some of these things because, as some of you know, I was doing some cover tunes when I realized, no, you can't do a cover tune without getting permission to do it. I was so exuberant about doing these live streams and offering them to everyone. Oh, okay, when I'm going to do like 40, 50 of my original tunes, but I want to honor some of the other artists, and I'm going to do some of their songs. Sorry. Especially, it's one thing if you stream it and it's live, but once you press the save button, you've just made a video recording. And when I did the Italian Shuffle on this last record, I had Sam sing on the Italian Shuffle, and anything he wanted, and he sang Flip, Flop, and Fly. Well, I wasn't thinking that is a copyrighted thing, so I wanted to make sure that all the artists, you know, whether they're songwriters or whatever, get paid when they do a project of mine. So I found that they were with their publishing company is Warner Chappell. I called Warner Chappell and I said, I got this video where this blues musician friend of mine, Sam Lay, is singing Flip, Flop, and Fly, sort of in the middle of the piece. I'd like to make sure the artists get paid. What would you like? And they said $5,000, and you could only use it for 1 year. I said, yeah, but this is just going to go up on YouTube. It's not a film. I'm not a corporation, and it's just going to be on YouTube, and I don't have that many followers on YouTube. And could I pay you per view? $5,000. Anyway, that's a long story. So you don't want to mess around with videotaping someone else's song, okay? Trust me. So I couldn't use it. Okay.
So I just want to mention that Greg Gibbs is watching. So
Oh yeah, okay. So Greg, I hope you're still watching, because we are going to do a major stream about the amazing story about Greg Gibbs, Eddy Balchowsky, Dr. L. Subramaniam, Ernie Watts, your wife, the hair salon, all these incredible things coming together in synchronicities about the Quiet Night. It's an amazing story. I need to spend some time working on it. If you have anything you want to add, you know, or any ideas, let me know, but that's going to be a major story. So that's Greg Gibbs. He's here, the Chicago Bagel Authority.
amazing bagels, best sandwiches in the world.
And Dahlia has an amazing hair salon, Milo's, right? Is that the right pronunciation? And it's a long story of how they met. It all involves a Quiet Night. It is just unbelievable story. I've been waiting to tell this story a long time, Greg, but I just have to make sure I do it the right way. So, okay, so where was I? Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to do one more song. I'm doing all my own songs from now on, and if I run out, I'm going to have to write them. So we're going to do, after the song, this is what happens. We do a Zoom meeting. Anyone could join the Zoom meeting. You go to corkymusic.com/stream, or you just go to corkymusic.com. You'll be trapped on the crowdfunding page, but you could go to the menu and then go to live performance or stream or whatever. When you get to the stream page, the performance page, on that page is all the codes and links. For the Zoom meeting, we're going to have, let's see, what time is it now? In about 7 minutes. Well, no, probably more like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So then you get to go to the Zoom meeting. So we have the Zoom meeting, which usually lasts close to an hour. And it's really fun. And then I'm going to go back. We're going to have lunch, take a walk, and then we're going to answer all your comments on this stream. And then after all that happens, I'm going to put the stream up on YouTube so you'll always be able to see it. Okay, that's it. I'm going to do this song, Alkeseltzer Moon. There's a sing-along part for you. With it, let's add a little dynamic. So it's oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Okay, good luck. You're on your own. Here we go. Alkeseltzer Moon. Alkeseltzer Moon. In the AM sky, soothing the road maps from my tired eyes, dreaming of you, nothing else is on my mind, as I go swerving down the highway, straddling the center line.
moon, right there at our rendezvous. It happened at the very moment that I looked at you. And oh, how those sparks flew up to the ionosphere. And I haven't even started floating down from heaven since last night with you, my dear. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Love never felt so good. Never felt so good. Love never felt so good. Never felt so good. Oh, what a night. Under romantic star, something special there was growing. And from midnight to daylight, we felt the creative juices flowing. Oh, what a flight. Nothing less than ecstasy. It was Cupid and Venus and Eros, you and me. Yeah. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Thank you all. We will see you on the Zoom next if you'd like to join us.
Yes, please do.
Corky
It's a lot of
music
fun.
McCorkyMusic.com/stream. And I'll get to the comments later. Thank you all. We love you. Stay healthy. Stay home. Wear your mask. Do everything you need to do.